Michael check 1 2 1 2. Welcome, 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 welcome to another wonderful Wednesday out here in these streets. Thank you all so much for tuning in to Zoom in. Let's make the best of it tonight. All right. Let's open up the four gates tonight. So we're gonna open up a prayer first. Nice big inhale through the nose. Slow exhale out the mouth. Slow inhale through the nose. Slow exhale out the mouth. Big inhale through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. Do a cool tafel attack. Wabazon, Gamafargon, Shalel Kalum. We are in the love of all, and all love is in us. We are a part of all, and all is a part of us. We are one with all, and all is one with us. We can succeed as a part of all and fail as individuals. We can be all that we wish in all as long as we wish to stay in all. We are never alone. All is, we are. All can, we can. All does, we do. Istinje elaku. So if you just slowly open your eyes, leave your spine straight, hands down beside you or in your lap. Spine is straight. And you're going to pretend there's an ant in front of you on the wall, and it's crawling to the left, and you're watching it as you inhale. So you're going to inhale and follow the ant to the left all the way until the ant is almost behind you. And then you're going to exhale and watch the ant walk back to the center of the room directly in front of you. Inhale to the right. And exhale back to center. Now the breath must match the movement. So you can't turn your head to the left like this and then still be inhaling. Okay, you have to inhale slowly, and when the inhale stops, your head should stop. So your head should be all the way back here. So don't jerk your head to the left and then keep inhaling. It's an inhale the whole time to the left. Okay, maybe I need to go to the big screen. Let's get over here to the spotlight so you can see all this big neck. All right, let's start over. So you're inhaling. So when you get to a 50% inhale, you should be about halfway. When you get to 100% inhale, you should be back here. So don't bend the neck and then keep breathing, okay? Because if you get over here before me, you're breathing too fast. And if you get back to the middle before I do, you're breathing too fast. And we should not hear your breathing either. So let's try it again from the top. Spine is straight. Inhaling to the left, watching the ant, eyes open. Exhale back to the center, watching the ant. Inhale to the right, watching the ant. Exhale back to center. Inhale to the left. Exhale back to center. Inhale to the right. Inhale back to center. Last one to the left, inhale. Exhale back to center. Inhale to the right. Exhale back to center. Now the ant is going up. He's climbing up the wall in front of you over the ceiling. So you're going to inhale and the head is going to go back. When you get all the way to the top, stick out your tongue as far as you can. Pull it back. Exhale down to center. Inhale down until the chin is tucked. The ant is crawling down the wall between your legs. Exhale back up to center. Inhale back. Stick out the tongue. Pull it back. Exhale down to center. Inhale down. Exhale back up to center. Inhale up and back. Stick out the tongue. Pull it back. Exhale down to center. Inhale down. Exhale back up to center. Clear 3 times. Big inhale through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. Inhale through the center. Inhale up. Exhale out the mouth. Eyes on the hands the whole time. One more time. Exhale out the mouth. Un momento, por favor. Shake it off and come on back. Rub the face, shake the hands out. All right, all right, all right. Let's get down to it. I'm gonna do some announcements. What up, Peace Family? Team Taurus in Atlanta, more Team Cancer in Philly. Yes, it is on, it is live. We're all live on YouTube. If you want to send it to somebody, you can copy this link. Well, of course, it wants me to do something else. If you want to send it to somebody, you can just copy the link and share that. I just dropped them in the chat. All right. Team Cancer in the building. Team Virgo in New York. What up, Team Scorpio? My Mercury Day in Louisiana. I feel you. You can invite if you want. Atlantis, Georgia, right? Team Sag in Jacksonville, Team Cancer in Alabama. What it do? Team Pisces and Gemini. Okay. Team Virgo in Fairfax, Team Sag in Houston. Peace to the gods and goddesses. Melissa, Team Virgo in Decatur, where it's greater. What up, NY Cole Sweet? Everybody's watching over on YouTube. We're getting ready to just get a little busy tonight and talk a little astrology with the folks. Let me do my announcements first before we get into Q&A. And if Gabrielle is watching or Everett, we don't even have to wait till tomorrow morning. We talked about it yesterday, but on the website, it's going to change from Inner Magic Starter Kit to Inner Magic Academy. Because I think if I'm graduating folks, we got different tiers that people are in, then we should be an academy. And I was looking for 3 letters that, at least had a sound. So Inner Magic Academy is IMA. I like that. You know what I mean? Y'all should come on and get, I'ma do this. What we gonna do? We're gonna Inner Magic activate your behind over at Inner Magic Academy. So that's what I'ma do. So all of you who are already members in the private area and you have access to this over here. So if you can go to Work with OE and click in, log in, and get to this membership area and see the Yi Ming Zhu consultations, the book of session, the natal chart rectification class, the microcosmic orbit, the writing your goals, the 365 greatest possible strategy, the moon magic, and then to keep it simple astrology course. If you can see all of this, if you have access to this, then you are already enrolled in the Inner Magic Academy. All right. Now, if you over here messing with this rectification chart, you are on the fast track to graduating from the academy, but still being a part of the academy, but having a transformational coach certification from Coach O.E. Sun. Because if you can do astrology, we are the real transformation coaches. When I look at what I've done, what I do for people, not what I've done, what I do for people now is based around transforming them. If I can get an amen or ashe in one of the chat rooms somewhere, make sure I'm telling the truth, I'd like that just to keep up with my own personal stuff. But I'm into transformation. And one of those ways is finding your purpose and healing your purpose and then following your purpose. So we are purpose driven. We use predictive astrology. We all into Tantra. We into all things magic. We into getting the bag. But also, I'm also interested in extending my brand through other people that I have trained and that I certified that I can trust. Bong, bong. And Monday's class was crazy to me because I got to teach class the way I wanted to teach it. I was, once again, I had already written down some names on this piece of paper right here. I had already written some names down on this piece of paper. Oh, no, not this paper, this one. I had already written some names down on this page of who I thought was going to come to the Rectification Masterclass. And I went down and I checked like who I had said I thought would come, who I felt was coming, and then who showed up, who was already on the list. So really I had to look at the people that showed up that I didn't even write down. I was just like, oh, y'all really ready to do something. So very, very proud of those who showed up on Monday night. We're going to have some transformational coaches out here that's going to be so nasty. Good gracious. Soon, this in a few weeks. What else? Some of y'all didn't show up. Why? I was like, where they at? I don't know. But anyway, we done got started now, and I'm very happy about that. Something else I want to make announcements about. So my birthday is May 17th. Write it down. If you one of my students, you should already have my birthday, and you should have already pulled the chart and done all that. But on May 17th, I'm going into a 1 year. Does anybody know what that means? I could go get the book, or I could do this. So if you have Kindle, if you have a Kindle, you know, stash, which I hope everybody in here has Kindle. Over here, you know, you're going to need this numerology and the divine triangle. So I guess I also should go over and pull up how you get your yearly number. So let's talk about this so you can see what I'm doing. So I can make an announcement, but I can also teach at the same time. So as I go over here to try to find, I must find what I am looking for. So I am able to log in and share my screen with you. Thank you so much. If you're watching on YouTube, this is your first time, please drop it in the chat what team Zodiac you representing and what city and state. So we can give you a little shout out, you know. So everybody should know where they are. Shut that all the way down. Everybody hopefully should know what their year is. Also, everybody, remember I told y'all that in the Monday class, y'all got some homework. So everybody that's in this class should have a calendar for all of 2022. So you can look down to any month and see the 8 phases of the moon. Okay? So obviously I didn't just do this, but I can go to October and tell you what day the leading moon starts on and when the full moon is and when the next planning phase starts. If you have this, type yes in the chat. If you don't have this, type no. Oh yeah, pop quizzing out here, because this is a part of moon magic. Do you have the whole year mapped out? Okay. I see more yeses than nos at this point. Yeah, the whole year. Oh, okay. All the way to August. Let's get all the way to December. I see some more no's. I see some yeses. Okay. Do you have an app that listed like this, that has the 8 phases for the whole year? That's what I want. Not do you have it written out was the question. Not do you have an app? We write things out over here. Do what the teacher did, you're going to be fine. So if I'm writing, then let's get to writing. Okay, good. When you come to class on Monday, this should be done. So if you're in Monday's class, you know I'm talking to you. All righty. This was last week's class. So for those of you who were watching on YouTube, this is kind of like how we get down. So this is something that we covered last week. But now we're moving on. Today is the 13th. Team Aries, please shouts out. I got to start putting the dates down. So this is how to get your personal year. You write down your next birthday. Right? So of course, 5 equals 5. 17 is an 8. No, I don't want to do that. You add these up. So 1 plus 7. No. Back all that up. 5 plus 17 is 22. 2 plus 2 plus 2 equals 6. This will make this 28, and then 2 plus 8 equals 10. which equals 1, right? So I'm about to start a 2810 year. But if I put 2021 right here, my last birthday, that's really what you should do. Don't put your next birthday. Don't do that, because y'all get too far ahead. Let's back up. Put your last birthday down, right? $27.9 is what I have right now because I have not got back to my birthday. How does this work? You basically are moving through the year. If you're taking the Prosperity 365 course, you know that your birthday is the beginning, and then every 3 months, it's a quarter of a tank. And then there's this period right between that. This is how we measure. This is how we run our money. Everybody who's in the class who knows this system is already taking this, getting their W's. But you have to know what's going on, where you are on the floor, right? So I'm having a 27.9 year by adding up the last one, right? My last birthday. So then I can shoot over here, do this. Really didn't want to do that. Do that. And look at there, 27.9. This is in the numerology in the divine triangle, but do not start on the 27.9. You have to go to the secondary chart, the one that says temporary vibration. Yeah, I'll read it like this. There it is. So this is how you find out what is your personal year, okay? The other way you can find out what your personal year is also by going over, pulling up your chart, pulling up your card chart, and hitting your yearly card and seeing how you put this together. So I have a King of Diamonds in a 27.9 frequency that says, birth, marriage, thought of a new business. Things are growing, blossoming, and bearing fruit under this vibration. It is fertile, promising period of your life. Relationships bloom and bring deeper understanding. Therefore, marriage and close partnerships are a probability. I didn't get married this year. If you have been planning to open a new business, patent an idea, have a showing or present any ideal of creative enterprise, now is the time to do so. That was the Jupiter group. This is an enterprise. The Inner Magic, my Inner Magic Academy is an enterprise. This transformational coaching I'm doing with y'all at the end of my year is an enterprise. Hold on, pause. I left something out. So this one is the yearly, right? This is a 1-year cycle. But this right here is I got them too close. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, let's zoom in a little bit. This is how you play with the numbers. So we know that in 2021, that was the beginning of my 9-year. So 2020 was an 8-year. 2019, 2018 was a 6-year. 2017, 2016, 2015, 2014, 2013 was a 1-year, okay, on my birthday. So does everybody see? Now you can go back and see where you were, right? So 2013 was when I moved to Atlanta. I moved to Atlanta in a 9-year because I came to Atlanta on 11/5/2012. I got my house. I wasn't homeless, but I got my own crib on February the 1st, 2013. So February 1st, 2013 is before my birthday. So I didn't have a 1-year. I was in a 9-year. So I left North Carolina, graduated, and then out. By the time I got to my birthday, I had my own crib, and it was in a 1-year. Now I'm 2021. Last year I got another crib. New, bigger crib with more magic, right? We all know that 8 is a what? That's a magical number. So all I do is just play the cycle. So you got the 9-year cycle, and then you got the 1-year cycle. You want to understand this a little more? Most of y'all who are in the class, we've already talked about this before. If you're a new person, you should know that you should do these numbers before you even get to the Prosperity 365. All right. Then we switch back over and let's see what it says about my 9-year. You will enlist the aid of others. This shouts out to Gabrielle, Everett, Chris, Raheem, Ray, Alpha, Lori, Kiss the Goddess, Octavia, everybody that's in the Facebook group that like shares major information and helps me with this enterprise. You are here. I will enlist the aid of others. They in turn will be more than happy to see that you receive what you need because your positive attitude is infectious. This could very well be beginning of your fortune. This could be the beginning of my fortune. I may want to highlight that by itself. The events occurring now will ultimately bring the wealth, prosperity, and goals that you seek. So it didn't say it was going to give me the wealth this year. It was like, I'm going to get it. A negative reaction could bring delays, postponed travels, the termination of an existing business, or generally unhappy feelings. So I didn't have no negative reactions this year to nothing, or at least I didn't try to. By expressing a positive, expectant attitude, you can bring about the best side of the unusual, excellent number vibration. You're off to a happy new adventure in many respects. A trip is possible, but if you do not travel physically, you are at least on a journey towards your innermost dreams. I was like, wow. But now my birthday is around the corner and I'm about to turn 28, baby. Right. Papa got a brand new bag. Contradictions, surprise, unusual events. This period offers many opportunities that may result in a series of unusual or unexpected events. If you proceed with caution, your finances could improve and prosperity result. That was all the warning I needed. If I don't read anything else, this is a competitive aspect here which suggests opposition. This could result in losses through partnerships, the law, or placing too much trust in others. Herein lies the contradictory nature of this number vibration. Land and property dealings can bring unexpected good profits or surprising losses. I'm not in no land and property dealing, so I'm good. depending on your original motives and behavior. If you have been honest, ethical, and above board, you can expect the former. Be prepared for events that come up suddenly that will test your ability to judge fairly without becoming too emotional or too stern. Good judgment is essential in all transactions and agreements. If you obtain the facts and use them wisely, you can have very profitable relationship with your peers. Some people believing that they have all the answers result to sudden rash behaviors. The promising beginning new now offered is then lost by this lack of judgment. The outcome of this period seems to rest solely in your hands. You have the reins and you can direct your energy down the Primrose path or to the town dump. Well, I'm not going to the town dump, but I know that when I got to the A in 2013, I knew that everything I did in my 1 year was going to affect the rest of my stuff. And it just got bigger and bigger and bigger up until where I'm at right now. So as I see what happened, I'm ready to run this back again. And I'm about to be in a 1 year. So we're adding one rule to the academy. That was the perfect time for this to happen. You always have to do something new on your birthday. I advise people to travel on their birthday, but doing something new on your birthday is what I'm doing this year. So on my birthday this year, we are implementing dues for members. So I want to say it out my mouth so you'll be clear on what we're doing. But I think maybe Monday or something, the link will be up to pay the dues of $111 per year. The $111 are to be able to stay in this Wednesday Q&A class. If you don't pay, then you will not be access to this Wednesday class, but you will have access to all the videos as promised for life. You'll have access to the meditation, the P365, everything is over there, and anything I add in the future, you can have it. But the only way you're gonna stay in here is $111 membership. And the deadline was supposed to be my birthday, okay? I'd like the deadline to be the end of Gemini. That's just plenty time. Really, no, that's too long because I know they're going to trip on that. Gemini just my solar second. So I know Gabrielle and Everett are having a fit right now by me saying that. But I think it might be like a 5-day window or something that I had said last week or whatever. So you got a month plus whatever the grace period is to pay the $111 from the time the link comes up. Okay. And so I think there's going to be an option for PayPal or for Stripe or whatever. And that's going to be for the rest of the year. If you say, you know what, I don't want to come back to class on Wednesdays, I ain't going to pay the $111, and then that's fine. And then come August, you getting peeled and you want to come back into class, you're still going to have to pay your dues. All right. So dues will be due every year on my birthday. So I'm just giving you some jewels that you can use in your business. Because your birthday is when you start making your declarations, not January 1st. Was there anybody in here on December 31st who was yelling, next year's my year? Anybody? Nobody? Octavia, you scratching your hand or you raising your, oh, that was you. Oh, that was you. That sounds kind of crazy. We don't do that. December 31st and January 1st has nothing to do with nobody unless your birthday is on the 29th, 30th, 31st, 1st, or the 2nd. Other than that, you shouldn't even be talking about that calendar. Move on and talk about your calendar where you are. That's the only way you're going to activate your inner magic is you got to know where you are at all times. Okay? So I don't think I'm taking anybody else in on the rectification course unless you already talked to me, Everett or Gab. You just missed class last week. If you missed these first 2 classes, you can't come because you're not going to be able to catch up because you ain't asked no questions. So you have to be there minimum next week if you're trying to stay with this particular class, because it's not an ongoing class like this is. It's learning some specific techniques. We're moving at another pace where everybody can speak the language. And yeah, that's what we're doing. All right. Does anybody have any comments, questions, or feedback on rectification class or dues? Now, not questions from rectification class, just do you have any questions on the dues? Or one thing I just went over. A said, do I look at the higher arcana when looking at the numero forecasting? Sometimes. I'm not really that deep into my tarot studies. Sometimes I'll look at it, but I normally look at the numbers and then the cardology, and then I look at what I need to be working on in my gene keys and my own chart. That's enough to keep me right there. So I don't really get on the other one like that. Okay, I see I see I got a guest in the building. I was feeling about to look for you. Will you have another rectification certification class? Absolutely. These people that's in the class on Monday are teaching me how to teach even better. So yes, I don't know when though, but we're gonna have one. But right now, let me get these folks through and let them get graduated. Because like I said, they're gonna be the first wave of transformational coaches who know astrology, magic, rectifying a chart, gene keys, human design, psychedelics, mysticism. I might as well be the first one to graduate somebody in a class for this budget. Normally this budget is a little higher for this, but we're gonna be okay. Nobody has now in the rectification class, I did say that I wanted to teach something tonight. And I told y'all to remind me what it was. Octavia, do you know what it was? Does somebody remember what I said Monday that I wanted to teach tonight? So all of y'all was just not taking notes, even though I told y'all to take notes. It's crazy. It's okay. I do have something to teach tonight. However, now I'm gonna see, does anybody have Q&A from last week or for today? Does anybody have any Q&A right at the beginning? Because I have a special treat for everyone today, because I'll run up on you and ambush you.
I have a question, but not necessarily about what you asked last week.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, hold on. I had a reading and I wasn't able to tap in to this person, to this, I wasn't able to intuitively tap into this person. And there was a few factors. One, she had gone through some, I'll just label it as initiations. And also this was the first time that I actually prayed prior. And I have seen other people do readings and the person was guarded, so they couldn't, but they was able to go around and get some information. Like I wasn't able to get nothing, but so I've seen other people give readings, and even though the person is protected, they were able to get some information. So I wanted to know if you had any suggestions or anything like that.
So in this class, we always talk about your business. This is you asking about, it's a spiritual reading question, but it's also a business question because they came and paid you for a reading, right? So whether you were doing dropping bones, cards, astrology, you said I couldn't get a fix on them because you could tell that they were blocked.
Right. It was an astrology reading, but that's how I do astrology readings. I utilize my intuition
and normally
first and then go in.
So normally your intuition picks things up and you just flow into it.
Right.
And this time you couldn't.
Right.
So the first thing I would have done was looked at the rising sign, because you always want to look at the rising sign of the moment. So like right
Oh,
now, of the moment.
okay. So,
So
all right.
now, so now as you're asking me this question,
So this happened. This happened on.
whatever day it was, it doesn't matter. I'm just
Okay.
telling you the technique. It don't matter what the rising sign was. So right
Okay.
now in Atlanta, right now is 28 degrees Libra rising. So that means everything I'm talking about is relationship and Mayat based. Even what you asking me, because when it's you and the client, that's a relationship, even though it's temporary.
Mm-hmm.
And now it was you couldn't pick up nothing on your intuition. Then you have to stick to the math, or if you are an intuitive astrologer, you have to tell them today may not be a good time because I feel that you're really blocked, and we can either reschedule or you just don't have to come back. But I don't do refunds.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
And don't even, and so then you can just wait and see, because they may be in a space where they be like, I ain't even in the headspace, and trying to read somebody who's like driving or all this other stuff, that's out for me. Yeah, I don't do readings while you driving. Hey man, we need to reschedule this when you I'm gonna pull over up here in this parking lot for an hour and a half. For 90 minutes, you just gonna sit on the side of the street? No, man, you get to the crib, get
Mm-hmm.
comfortable, then call me
Get
back
some water.
because
Yeah.
I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable. I ain't gonna be comfortable giving you and you uncomfortable no reading. You need to be comfortable, and I need to be. If I wasn't comfortable, I'd be like, yo, can I reschedule? Because I'm not comfortable because of whatever. So don't make sure both parties are comfortable before you start, because otherwise you trying to do a reading where you're just going up against their stuff, or they all like this, and you're trying to get in there and
Mm-hmm.
get into information, and they won't loosen up. So
Mm-hmm.
if you ain't in the mood, don't do it. If they ain't in the mood, you ain't got to do it. Give them the option to refund, or they can go kick rocks. Don't really tell them that, but
Right.
you can. We can reschedule. But now I'm gonna give you 30 days to work. I mean, to reschedule. Other than that, you're gonna have to pay for another reading. But right now, I'm not picking up nothing on you. And I if they don't know that you ain't trying to be funny and they start giving you grief, then I might give them some of their money back and be like, beat it, because
No,
they could be a headache.
it was good. Like she said, she was just like, you don't, this is an offering to you. And I kind of knew that, like, before I even started, like I felt like it wasn't that she had, and she was comfortable and everything, but she was protected. Like it's like I could see them, with their hands, with like a Debo kind of thing. Like she was protected.
Right.
Okay, so that's what I'm talking about. Like when they're protect, like, and I seen somebody else, and I wanted to know if you could, shed some light on it. But I seen where, like, somebody was giving my cousin a reading, and my cousin was heavily protected, but they were still able to give her some information, even though she wasn't. She was protected.
You could
So
tell, I'm heavily protected, and sometimes they're in my way. So I just had a reading on 222 where she was like, you're heavily protected, but them niggas is also in your way. So like if I come to you so you can see
okay.
me, and what is protecting me is overprotect, because there's something is overprotecting too. You know what I'm saying? You can have spirits. I have them. I don't have regular protection. I don't have Secret Service protection. I have mafioso dragon choke your throat protection, where I have to do like this myself. So they this tight on me. They looking to smash anything around me, which can relate in my relationships messing up, or somebody else feeling a vibe before I get there and I'm trying to be cool. So I have to be able to tell them to chill so Kiss can give me a reading. So it's the difference between somebody may be calling it protection, but they could be having some possessions. This is another thing too. Most people walking around have anywhere from 5 to 9 spirit attachments attached to them. They could be light or dark. It's easy for somebody to get to 10, 11, 12, 13, 20 different entities attached to them, especially if you curse a lot, especially if you, cursing, if you eat pork, if you know what I'm saying, you got a whole bunch of negative thoughts, watching horror movies before you go to bed, you already got the wrong particular energy going on in your body. I don't know if it's glyphoth energy, I think. And if I'm wrong, I got a couple scholars in here that will help me. But you want to get that energy off of you in order for somebody to be able to, so you might just look at the reading and be like, you know what? Your north node is over here, south node is over here, but you got so much stuff around you, you need to get a cleansing from over here. So if I point somebody in the right direction, it was worth them coming to me for the reading. Even if I only told them 2 things. I send everybody to Dr. Gibson to get something. Go over here and get a miracle prayer. Go over here and get a medallion. Go over here and get such and such. Go over here. He the arsenal. That's the stuff I use. That's what you're looking for. So today on Instagram, I was showing my board of doing readings, and somebody was like, where do you get that board at? And I was like, man, you have to send me $20 so I can tell you where to get this board at, because this company won't give me an affiliate link. And I've been telling everybody to get this board ever since 2012. So for 10 years, I've been sending people over here, and ain't nobody came back and bought me no board, bought me no pieces. So man, give me $20. I'm gonna see how serious you are. Then I'll tell you where the board is at. Because I don't feel that everybody should even have that board starting today. So then somebody inboxed me and was like, are you serious? I'm trying to see if you serious. So as soon as you sent me that 20 and asked me where you can send the 20, then I'll tell you where you can get it at. And they was just like, and then I said, oh, you think that's too cheap? I should charge more just to tell you where it's at? Because that's really the whole thing. Everybody wants you to help them get out of a predicament that they spent money to get in. They spent money to get in a jacked up situation where they need you. They need you to look at something with fresh eyes to help them get out of trouble, but they don't want to give you money to get them out of the situation that they spent money to get themselves into. No. Because the Inner Magic Activation Academy is also a martial arts academy. So it's got to be, you got to pay to stay here. So somebody else got to pay you for them just to come talk to you. If I tell you everything is free, you turn around and be like, well, my teacher gave me everything free. I'm gonna give you everything free. Ain't nothing. So next time that happens, their shield might be a little too tight. There's a difference between protection and being suffocated, because that's the other problem. Oh my God, Shaman Derek told me this. He was like, a lot of Black women can't have the love that they want now because they told the universe, guard my heart. And so the universe built up a stone wall on top of a stone wall, on top of a stone wall, on top of a stone wall. And then all of a sudden the guy of the dreams or the girl of their dreams comes to them and they can't get to their heart. And they'd be like, I wonder why these people can't get to my heart. Because you told God or the creator of the universe to guard your heart. You can't be in a relationship with a guarded heart. Write that down, somebody. You can't be in a relationship with a guarded heart. Being in a relationship is about opening the heart. So when I tell single men and women to go and date and open your heart, that's the only way you're going to get the right one. So a lot of y'all on here, and especially now you're on the public channel, these people are like, what you talking about? I ain't opening my heart to everybody. Don't you worry about it then. You're going to go ahead and keep on having the same relationships, the same closed heart, the same coldness on the inside that you've been having. So you better practice, you better date, you better this, and stop with the what ifing. Stop with the, oh my God, there's so many what ifs. Well, what if I this, and what if I that, and what if I that? You can't stand in the future. You can't stand in the future. That's why I got a special guest tonight. I got a special guest tonight for y'all. Thank you, kids, for your excellent question. Did I answer it well?
Yes, you did. Thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, so Octavia said, for those of you who don't have your year mapped out, you can find an example of mine in the pictures. You can use my dates, but remember that you have 3.5 to 4 day leverage that depends on you. I really use my 4 days the most around the full moon and the new moon. Yes, I'll be looking at your calendar dates Octavia, to see if they're like mine. You know what I'm saying? We're going to see what your dates is looking like out here, talking about the 4-day. Every cycle is not 4 days and every cycle is not 3 days. It depends every year. We may have to have a moon magic refresher. All right. Somebody used one of these words out here we don't use. We don't use vulnerability in this academy, okay? Especially if you're a Black man, we don't use the word vulnerable, okay? So let's straighten that out. We also do relationship coaching here, and so you're gonna get some of that tonight. Vulnerable is a martial arts word, okay? So I'm fighting Bill Wan. He got a knife and I got a hammer, okay? So he don't want me to hit him with the hammer, and I don't want him to cut me or stab me with the knife. I feel if I put the hammer down, as long as I'm holding the hammer, he's keeping back from me with the knife. As long as he got the knife, I'm back from him coming at me, me coming at him with the hammer. If I put the hammer down, I am now vulnerable to his attack. If he puts the knife down, he's more vulnerable to me attacking him. So stop using the word vulnerable in relationships. Is anybody catching what I'm putting down? Is you picking up what I'm putting down? If you use a martial word that means attack, it carries the energy of vulnerable means this is where I'm weak and susceptible to an attack. If you're in a relationship, you shouldn't be around someone who would attack you. This is why we always talking about body in your chart. Where is your Venus at? Where's the other person's Venus at? Where's their South Node at? So you don't be in a situation that you'll ever have to use the V word with somebody you having sex with. Why would I want to be vulnerable with somebody I'm having sex with? So and the reason that Black men have been doing this is because Black women have been telling Black men, y'all should be more vulnerable like us. Women, you're not vulnerable. You're not vulnerable. You just think you're vulnerable when you tell the truth. And he might react violently because you tell him that you really don't love him, or the sex is no good, or you want to be with his cousin, or you took some money or something like that. If you want to cry and you feel that he's not going to comfort you when you cry, that's not you being vulnerable. That's you being honest. So then when you cover up your cry because of what you think he will do, then you are now the dishonest liar who's misusing words like, you need to be more vulnerable like me. If you cry in front of a man, you shouldn't even feel like this man is going to attack you when you are being honest. Why would someone attack you for being honest? Miss Cynthia Williams, Miss Willis, you have on glasses. I don't feel vulnerable. I just told her she had glasses on. You know what I'm saying? You have 2 ears too, and you look light-skinned or caramel complexion. I'm telling the truth. Now I'm gonna just be like, well, am I vulnerable now? She's just gonna come at me. No. Nobody wants to tell people the truth. That's one of the 4 virtues to stay here though. Virtue number 1, honesty to myself and others at all times. So humility in thought, words, and deeds of those above and beneath me. Patience, I'll put the needs of others before that of my own, but not the greedy. Sincerity, I will fear only my lack of sincerity. And we started the whole thing by saying we honor and respect the masters that came before us. There's nothing about vulnerability in there. We warriors. What I need to be vulnerable for. So please, Black men and Black women who are studying with me in this class, there's some words we don't use. We don't use vulnerability, vulnerable, and we don't use the word spend. We don't spend money, we circulate money, okay? We circulate money. We tell the money what to go do, and then we tell the money to bring friends when it comes back, all right? That's how this works. Oh, I'm so happy I got it removed from that there. All right. Yeah. Jedi. Okay. Let's move on to my special guest I got for y'all today. I don't even know how to introduce this whole subject right here. It's crazy. I don't really know exactly how it's going to go, but it's going to be, just imagine when fire water came and y'all didn't know he was coming, you didn't know what was going to happen. That's y'all, that's the type of premises coming on here today, right? This is the type of caliber that I'm bringing in today. So recently, Ramadan started, right? And I called one of my homies who did not answer the phone. And then I called one of my other homies, and he answered the phone. And both of these brothers have a deep initiated background in Sufism, right? It's not regular Islam or Nation of Islam or the Shiites or the Orthodox. No. These cats really get down with the magic, right? And I wanted to talk to somebody about Ramadan because I'm afraid of vain fasting. Because some people was like, oh man, come on, you can fast with us. Come on, you can do it. But I was like, you don't really, I don't think you really understand. I wanted to make sure I wasn't fasting in vain. Because you can fast in vain and just be like, it's the spiritual side of fasting, not the physical side of fasting. And talking to the other brother was like, hey, what about zakat versus shakur? Shakur is charity. Zakat is generosity. And he told me the difference between charity and generosity, right? So today I'm minding my business. This was like a couple of weeks ago. No, it won't. I mean, it just started, so it was last week. So today, the first brother who I called, who's steeped in the Sufi tradition, hit me back. And then we started talking about this conversation. Well, it was a couple of weeks ago, though. I sent out something about Matrix 4, and this brother was teaching a class on the Matrix and how the Matrix 4 was applying. He basically was giving his story through the eyes of a Sufi mystic about what he saw in the Matrix. Now, I've seen a whole bunch of videos like this where people be pulling out, KT the arts degree, Bobby Hemming and Phil Valentine, the great Sister Myra, all these folks, right? But the way he went in, I was like, good gracious. So I was like, you know what? I should invite the whole class to come over on. I said, if you have it on a Wednesday, which I don't want you to, I'm gonna invite the class to be like, we coming over to the spot, right? It's another workshop being held. We should attend. And it's worth all of us going over there together because we will get something from it. But I sent the invitation out. I think it was like a Thursday, Friday, or Saturday. I don't know if a few of y'all came through there or what, right? But he about to do something else around the Night of Power. Sufi's Tales or Sufi Stories or something like that. I'm not sure if y'all know what the Night of Power is. But when you talk about any particular night or day has a what, ladies and gentlemen? A date. So then the Night of Power that's coming this year has a rising sign, has a moon, has a Jupiter, has a Mars, Venus, Mercury. It has an entire chart. Now, Everett is like, oh, this is another opportunity for me to use some candle magic and jump through and make other things pop off. I feel the same way. And my brother who's coming through, he probably not going to disclose any of the way he do rituals, but he gave the story in the backdrop. You know what I'm saying? Y'all please put your hands together for my man, Ashki.
Hey. Woo woo, peace to the gods. Woo woo, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Y'all don't even understand what y'all got here. Y'all don't understand. It's okay though. It's okay. He's super humble. He ain't even gonna do it like I'm gonna do it. His introduction probably would have came in and been like, "What's up, peace, y'all." So his introduction is way too long. That was the short version. So, brother, I'm glad that you could join us tonight. And I had told you that I wanted you to come over and introduce yourself to my family, my community, which is your community too. They need to be standing up under you too. If you had the time to teach them, I would love for you to get organized. Let me send my little 50, 60, 70 people over to your spot. But until then, I wanted you to come tonight, introduce yourself to the clan. You know what I'm saying? We'll have a little dialogue, and then maybe they can, if you got time, we'll do a little Q&A. You know what I'm saying? Because I never want students to just think it's just about one thing or just the numbers of astrology, and it's not the mysticism, or it's not the intuition, or it's not, or it's not about power, or it's not about making the right moves, right? So everybody, please get fresh sheets of paper out. It's going to be to your benefit to pay attention. And then after we do the introduction, then I'm going to ask him a little bit about this upcoming demonstration, because I still consider him one of my Moorish brothers. He about to demonstrate on May the 5th. But first, I just want to, you know what I'm saying, Ashley, welcome to the crib, brother. Thank you for showing up, man. Can you introduce yourself to the family?
Sifu, can you hear me?
Oh, absolutely, loud and clear.
Yeah, right on. Thank you, bro. Peace to everybody. Honored to be here with y'all. I got a little dose of the class, and it's high level. Definitely high level. Oyi is a very unique individual. I had a dream with him back in the glory days of Blog Talk, for y'all that remember like 2009, 2010, 2011. It was Notalege, it was the remix. Oyi had his Blog Talk. It was popping. And honestly, I wasn't feeling, I can't even say Oyi. It was Kair at that point. I wasn't feeling Kair. But I had a dream about him where he was on an escalator, that goes up. He was on the escalator, and you were wearing a black satin, I don't know the proper terminology, but basically like one of them Bruce Lee type of, what Bruce Lee would wear, what the masters would wear. And there were like white dragons on the outfit, and you was going up. And so when I have a dream about somebody, especially like that, because dreams, you have two types of dreams. You have psychological dreams, which are kind of like when you eat a meal, your body circulates the nutrition. Hopefully there's some nutrition in what you're eating. And then there's the waste products from what you're eating. So every experience we have, the mind has to digest it. So a lot of times when you dream about, like if you work on a crazy job and you dream, let's say you're washing dishes and you wash dishes for 8 hours and you dream time you're washing dishes again. That's like taking a psychic defecation, basically, to get that out of your system. But visionary dreams have a different, it's kind of like black and white versus LCD, the psychological dreams are black and white. The visionary dreams are hyper LCD. So that's how you can tell, is this a visionary dream or is this just my mind trying to get rid of waste products and trauma and all of the earth shenanigans, you know? So I could tell that this was a visionary dream. And I could tell that this brother, even though for whatever reason I wasn't feeling him on the radio, there was something very special about him. And he was actually in a position above me on this escalator that I had to get to. So that was 10, 11, 12 years ago, maybe, when I had that dream. And I had another recent dream where he was teaching me some prayers. I've had a few dreams with him. And there's no one else that I know on kind of like a friendship level, because he's definitely my friend and my brother, that I dream about in a guide who gives me guidance in the dream time. So I know I was asked to introduce myself, but I'm introducing myself, hailing up y'all instructor, you know what I mean? Because he's a very special brother, and I definitely learned just from the little bit I got from the class, you know, I was learning as well, you know, so yeah, y'all in the right place, right time. I don't know what to say about myself, honestly.
It's all good. It's all good.
I'm just another brother out here, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Right. Whatever. I ain't even gonna do no name dropping. I'm gonna just get into I'm gonna go back a little bit, and without recapping the Matrix 4, why did you feel so why did you feel so pulled and drawn to do a demonstration on the Matrix 4? What in the condition of the people did you see that made you say, oh no, we gotta talk about this Matrix 4? And you was like, I got to put a demonstration together. I got to make actual videos. I got to make some footage and preview it and put it in order. What was the condition of the folks that drew you into saying, y'all want to talk about the Matrix?
Well, like you said earlier, we spoke about a movie, and you was like, you in the movie, you know, and that's what made the Matrix, especially the original Matrix, so you know, cutting edge and so powerful, is that everyone could see themselves in the character, Neo, right? We know the dialogue is like a scripture, right? From the script comes scripture, right? Mm-hmm. It's like something is off here. You can feel it when you go to church, you know, you can feel it when you pay your taxes. You could, you know what I mean? Everybody can relate to that. And so with the Matrix 4, I was ready, you know, I had my tomatoes ready. I had my banana peels ready. I had my trash ready, because I was ready to just, like, you know, because I'd taken the Sophia Stewart pill, you know? I took the Sophia Stewart pill, which is part of our trauma, right?
Talk about it. Talk about the pill. Talk about the Sophia Stewart pill.
They take our, I didn't even really get into this during the talk, but, you know, I feel like we were just talking one-on-one. So, you know, it's just going to be like that, you know, because I come from the Farrakhan school. I can't even say the Nation of Islam. I come from the Farrakhan school. Mm-hmm. And I'm a storyteller, so I just tell a quick story. Henry Louis Gates, who many of y'all know, big man in the world, right? He did we call it a hatchet job on Minister Farrakhan. Went to his house, the minister, I've met the minister. That's one reason why I love him so much, because I met him. He counseled me way back in 1996. And he treated me like gold. And I know if he met any one of you, he'd treat you the same way. I mean, he's really a thorough brother. I don't care what nobody's saying. I know. And so Henry Louis Gates experienced that as well. He even got a massage from the minister in his home.
What?
It was in the article. But it was, when people write these articles, the editors be like, okay, we need a little bit of this. Like the brother Manon Marable that did the last Malcolm X book, right? They was like, oh, we need to put something in here. So he inserted that Malcolm X was a gay gigolo. I know people that know Malcolm X. I know one of my good friends is the godmother to his children. She was there at the Audubon Ballroom when he was assassinated. Malcolm, I don't care who anybody loves, anybody sleeps with. It's none of my business. You do what you got to do. But Malcolm X had zero homosexuality in him, zero. But to get the book published, to get his check, he needed to put that in there. Same thing with Hosea Williams, who was one of Dr. King's homies. He saw that money and he just went to town on Dr. King. So anyway, the same thing happened when Henry Louis Gates, and he's very much in the in the system, and he did this hatchet job on the minister, and I read it. The minister was in Ghana at the same time Henry Louis Gates was in Ghana doing the genetic. They did this genetic thing, testing everybody's DNA, and let's see where you come from, and boom, boom, boom. And he happens to see the minister. This is the first time they've met since the minister fed him, drove him around, gave the brother a massage, spent all day with him. Right? Imagine spending all day with somebody, and then you read the article, and they just like throwing feces at you.
Right.
Imagine that, right? You know what the minister's reaction was? Oh, brother. Hugged him. And this is on camera. It was on PBS, part of his documentary. And Henry Louis Gates said, oh, Minister Farrakhan, that article, and Minister Farrakhan said, brother, I understand. Next time we'll do better. And then granted him another interview on camera. I don't know why I told that story right now. But back to the Matrix, yeah, the Sophia Stewart blue pill or red pill, one of them purple pill. Black folks have had stuff stolen from us since, that's what they do, right? And so we all gravitated towards Sophia Stewart. I wrote The Matrix, I'm the original. I wrote Terminator, I wrote The Matrix, and it made sense. I was like, yo, that makes sense. The Terminator, John Connor grows up, the robot comes to prevent his ascension.
Events are one of the most.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, man. So he grows up to become Neo. It makes sense. It fits, right? And she was like, there's not. She had the next Matrix 4. She said Will Smith, interestingly enough, was going to play Neo because she had based Neo on Muhammad Ali, who was like a real life Black superhero. I know people that know Muhammad Ali as well. And yeah. So she said the next Matrix would not be made because she owned the copyright. They can't make without her, blah, blah, blah. And then they started to do the Matrix and like, well, they're not going to finish it. They haven't got the money. Everybody's pulling out. And then there's the trailer. I'm like, okay, well, you said they couldn't make the movie because you own the make. They can't use the name. Boom, 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 boom. So I said, okay, I was ready to, to just, throw trash at it. And then I saw it. And as we said, I saw myself in the movie. More so than the first movie. Because Neo never felt he was the one. I heard a brother, Professor James Small, say something that I said in that talk, the Golden Nuances. And I was so happy to hear him say it because, I'm glad to get some backup. Neo plus Trinity equal to one. He couldn't be the one by himself. Shiva without Shakti is a corpse. Muhammad said, half of faith is marriage. So he was incomplete until Trinity came into her full power. So since then, Sophia Stewart's been like, oh, it's a transgender movie because they made Trinity a man. They ain't made Trinity a man. It's a Nazi feminist movie because Trinity is now the one instead of Neo. Now everybody missed the boat. And it's true. The Wachowski brothers is Wachowski sisters now. And I was ready to hate on it until I saw myself in the movie. And there was a lot of science in that movie that people missed. And I heard a lot of people I respect just saying, oh, it's trash, it's boom, 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 boom. But I'm like, no, it's very interesting that the people that need it the most can't see it. So yeah, so that's why I decided to do a little talk on what I call the Golden Nuances, which, astrologically speaking, we are in this new cycle, and that movie spoke to that new cycle, and even though the Wachowski brothers are now sisters, they could have went full on LGBTQ AI plus ... They could have, they could have did that, but they didn't. Neo Trinity equals to one.
So also, I'm gonna just tell this part. Right before you did this, you were instructed to say something that could get you killed. And the answer to that riddle, that kohan, was what was going to add more champagne to your campaign. You know what I'm saying? As we get older, what Dr. Gibson say, most billionaires already failed 7 times or tried 7 different things. It's normally that 6th, 7th, or 8th thing that ta-da. So you transitioning, you know what I'm saying, from one area to another, and it was like, yo, say something that could get you killed. Now because you said some things in that demonstration that I ain't gonna ask you to repeat, that I was just like, oh Lord, have mercy. I ain't put that together. And plus, for him to even say that, oh, the courage he has, Jesus Christ. I was in the lab listening that night. I was like, oh my God, all the mushrooms heard everything. They was like, ooh, good Lord, have mercy. So now you're about to do something on May the 5th. Is this one gonna qualify too? Are you gonna say something in this one that could get you killed?
Yeah, man.
What's the title? What's the title of this one, and what's the motivating factor for this demonstration that you're doing on the 5th?
Well, being a mystically inclined brother, it's I'm still like, man, is it gonna be the 5th or is it gonna be the 11th? Because it's not live yet. It's not live. I haven't got like the green light to go all the way live with it,
Okay.
But it'll either be the May 5th or the May 11th. And Sufi Tales of Power will be the theme. In fact, I'll send you one of the videos here in the chat. Where should I send it, Oyi?
You can drop it in the chat. And also when you drop this in the chat, what in the hell would some people who interested in astrology and magic who study with me, what in the hell would they want to come for to the Sufi Night of Power story night? Well, why would they want to come?
Okay, so I texted you earlier. I don't know if you were able to do that. Did you see that text?
I did. It's if I read this,
I'm curious. I'm very curious.
It's 6 vampires in here. When I read this, they're ready to go right now. They're gonna let you keep talking. Cause I was like, I'm gonna just read the text what he sent me earlier.
I'm curious.
Watch how jokers jump on this. So he sent me a message. He said, I would like to know the astrological science behind the Quran. It was revealed April 27th on the year 610. But I don't know if there's any software that can go back to 610.
Back that far, right.
However, it's some jokers that's already typing, their fingers is already moving right now, and they're trying to find a chart that would be able to go April 27th, year 610. And then if it's not a chart, we probably could hand draw it. I could hand draw it if I get an ephemeris that goes back to that century. So if you can't find software that does it, students, because I know y'all looking, look for an ephemeris. Look for a 7th century ephemeris. So
you know what we'll have to do, Oye? Someone will have to take a trip on that, man. You know what I mean? Because as I say that, it's actually not April 27th because it moves every year.
Okay.
And so, but this year, the anniversary, what they call the Night of Power, falls on April 27th.
Okay.
So you'd have to go, like sometime Ramadan is in winter, sometimes it's in, it changes from year to year. Mm-hmm. So listening to you reread that back to me, that's not a set date, especially when you're going back 1400 years, you know what I mean?
Mm.
So
we can look, I mean, we can still get a lot of information around mm-hmm. that 2 or 3 day period.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm mm-hmm. saying? So,
well, it's interesting because, Ramadan, I mean, in all full transparency, I'm not fasting for the month of Ramadan. I honestly haven't fasted, goodness, Ramadan in a very long time. But what I am doing, I'm feasting. In the Muslim world, people fast, and it's very different when you grew up doing it and your mother did it and your father did it and your grandmother did it, and then they feast. I mean, they go bananas, eating, all night, especially like over there in the Middle East. But I'm feasting on my Sufi teacher's wisdom, preparation for this talk. What the Night of Power is, and as you very eloquently stated, like, the best example, if you saw it, did you see Kyrie Irving?
What he said in his interview after he dropped 34 on them boys' head?
Yeah, man, he's not a Muslim. But as you said, he's tapped into that current and that frequency, right? And so it's like, basically said it wasn't me, it was God.
That's what he said. He said,
when I come out here, I'm displaying what God has given to me. And this man was, really, sorry, Kaepernick. He's the closest thing we've seen in the vein of Muhammad Ali since Muhammad Ali. He didn't go to jail. But what other athletes spoke out against getting shot? What other musicians spoke out against getting shot? What other person of his stature spoke out against getting shot? Nobody. He sat down. He lost hundreds of thousands of dollars. Has people, Stephen A. Smith and all of his ilk, throwing feces at him. He sat down, he's like, I'm good. I ain't doing that. I ain't got nothing against nobody that does, but I'm not doing that. And then when he's finally able to come back, he's shutting it down and fasting.
Kissing off the glass on Kevin Love, yes.
Come on, man.
And running the break out here, just pushing
Come on, man. Come on, man. I mean, look at the brother, man. It's beautiful. Number 11. You know, it's beautiful. So what the Night of Power is, you hear a lot about Ramadan, but you don't hear a lot, at least I don't hear a lot, about what the Night of Power is. Why do people fast? The Night of Power is the night the Holy Quran was revealed to Muhammad. Sallallahu wasallam, as the Muslims would say. I don't define myself as a Muslim. I don't define myself, I'm undefinable. But I have come through Islamic traditions and I've been initiated in Sufi orders that have yielded me a profound awe and respect for the Quran. Now, what is the Quran? One of my teachers, I wish I had one of his books around here, Lex Hickson. I got one of his books in 1999. It was $19. I began reading this book. It's called Adam from the Son of Knowledge. That's him. I call him my grandpa. That's how close I feel to him. And he was a white man from Pasadena, California. He left his body in 1995.
He was only 53 too. I just saw that.
Very young. He was extremely unique in that his prime spiritual root, you see this book on the bottom, Great Swan, was Sri Ramakrishna, who was an avatar, a direct basically, he was Goddess Kali in human form. Years ago, again, those glory days, Brother Panic did a talk on Ramakrishna. And I was like, yo, I ain't never heard no niggas talk about Ramakrishna. You know what I'm saying? And so there might still be a video somewhere of me and Panic talking for like 15 minutes on Ramakrishna, because I had never, you just don't hear about Ramakrishna. But if it wasn't for Ramakrishna, we know nothing about Tantra. We know nothing about yoga. We know nothing about chakras. We know nothing about, he was kind of like a Noble Drew Ali or a Marcus Garvey or Elijah Muhammad for India. He brought back their spiritual traditions to them. He was called the mad priest of Dakshin Swar. He was uneducated, unlettered. He spoke in like terse riddles, his own little strange dialect. And he was a completely pure soul. His student Vivekananda, Swami Vivekananda, came to America in 1893 at the Parliament of World Religions. He was the first person to bring Eastern, in this era, obviously, Eastern mysticism, Vedanta, Tantra, that whole science to America. He was dark. He was like Michael Jordan dark. You know, the Indians get dark. They call them the Dalits, the untouchables. So they're so black, you can't touch them, right? He was one of them. And of course, he was sponsored by very wealthy, like we were saying before, people that could afford the luxury to be on a spiritual search, you know? And that's something too, everybody on this call, let's see, there's 50 something people on this call. as we were saying before, it's a luxury to be on a spiritual search. That's something that only people of the highest upper echelons even have the time to think about. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's, everyone on this call is of that upper echelon, and amongst some of those upper echelon people, he saw the so-called Negroes, Black people, being disrespected. And he left some establishments because of that. He's like, oh, if he can't come in, I can't come in. That's me. What are you talking about? Yeah. So back to Lex Hixon, that was his root. So when I discovered him, this is 99, 2000, I fell in love with him because I never heard anybody articulate Islamic science like this man. And then I went on the internet and I found out that he left his body in 1995, which distraught me because I wanted to meet this man.
That's how I was about Reverend Ike. I was pissed off that he was salty.
Yeah, right. And then I was even more confused when I saw him on the Hindu website. And I'm like, wait a minute, this great Sufi Islamic, holy man is dead and he died a Hindu? What? Well, I came to find out that he was a devotee of Sri Ramakrishna Vedantic Tantra, which, interestingly enough, for those that are students of Master Gibson, his teacher, Indira Ma, her twin soul, who was Dilip Roy, was a devotee of Sri Ramakrishna. Lex Hixon was a Zen Roshi in the Shakyamuni Buddha system, which is the same body of light system that teaches the body of light. He was a student of Eastern Orthodox Christianity, which is the closest thing to Ethiopian Coptic Christianity. When he established the Sufi order in Mexico, he met with the curanderos there, and he initiated into the lineage of Quetzalcoatl with them, and they initiated into the Sufi lineage with him. So it was like a marriage, So he was all of these, basically every facet of spirituality, he had it covered. And all of his books, he basically taught the same thing through an Islamic lens, through a tantric lens, through a Zen lens. He found like the golden thread that weaves through them all. Very unique. And then in 2000, he began teaching me in the dream time.
Wow.
And I met several people that knew him. I spoke with one of those people today. And I actually, in one dream, I was with him, Lex Hixon, the day he died. And one of his companions, who's the world's best jazz percussionist named Hamid Drake, who's a very good friend of mine, who is also a very good friend of Lex Hixon. When I told him about this dream and described Lex's house, he was like, oh, that's his house. You were there. You were in his house. So the night of power, Lex Hixon, when he went on Hajj, he had a dream of an emerald palace. And he was taken up to the higher realms by Prophet Muhammad. And he saw what they call in the Quran, the mother of the book, or the transcendent Quran. The transcendent Quran would be like where all of the prayers come from all of the traditions, where all of the holy scriptures come from. And then, part of that will come down as a Quran, part of that will come down as Psalms, part of that will come down as the Bhagavad Gita, part of that will come down as the Rig Veda, part of that will come down as oral traditions, or
make my funk the P-funk.
Right. You know what I'm saying? But the actual transcendent one It's like they call it the mother of the book or the mother book. And he said it was chanting itself eternally. So the night of power is the night when Muhammad got what in the Islamic world they would say would be the last revelation, you know. And but Sufism, the Sufi path, predates Islam. It predates the first Sufi was the first human being.
Why do you say that?
Can you put that video I put in the chat? I'll put it in again. There it is.
What chat you
The
put
answer,
in?
I just put it, I think, yeah, YouTube. It's a YouTube clip.
No, I mean, what chat did you put it in? Did you put it in the chat that we're on? Because I don't see it.
Yeah.
Is anybody's? I don't. You got to put it to. You either got to put it to everyone, or you got to send it directly to me.
Oh, maybe let's see. Yeah, I see direct emanation from Rashid. What's up,
Yeah.
Rashid?
Put it right up under that.
Yeah, it's right up under that.
But does it say everyone?
I think. Let's see. Yeah, you know this technology, man. I ain't know. Let's see. I guess it's not. Did I share the screen?
You can if you want.
Hmm.
I just made you co-host. Then you just share. Then you can press it on your side.
Okay, let's see.
Oh, Rashid said he got it. I got it now.
Oh, you got it? I think I might have sent it to Rashid.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, the answer is in that video, if you could play it.
Un momento. That there. You know, I gotta go big 20 seconds. He said the answer is in 20 seconds.
So this is the dervish. This is the most famous symbol for Sufism, right? The whirling dervish, Rumi. Behind him, you have the sun, right? And you've got Arabic letters from the Quran that make up his body, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's transparent to the sun, or she is transparent to the sun. So one of my other Sufi guides, Babu Muhyiddin, said, when I am here, Allah is not here. When Allah is here, I am not here. So with these mysteries, the central, the shahada of the Muslims is the zikr of the Sufis, la ilaha illallah, right? And then the other part of that is Muhammad Rasulullah. And it's in traditional Islam, they would say that that means there's no God but Allah. And Muhammad is his messenger, right? Lex Hickson said, it actually means the alchemical equation of it is only God can know God. Not that there's no God but Allah, but only God can know God. When someone would ask Lex a question that was kind of shady about Islam or whatnot, he'd be like, well, why do Muslims do this? Or why do, he would say, well, only Allah knows the answer to that. Because he was taking himself out of it. One person can't fight themselves, right? And so he was taking what they thought would be like a battle or a debate and elevating it to the divine presence. He changed the atmosphere. And then after that, he said only Allah knows the answer to that. And then he would allow Allah to transmit the answer through him. So the first, yes, sir.
No. Go ahead.
So the first human being, well, to go back, La ilaha illallah. In the Bible, everybody, we're in a Christian country, so everybody knows, you know, the Bible. They say, like, in the beginning was the Word, right? And the Word was God, and the Word was with God, and the Word became flesh, right? And then in Genesis somewhere, they say something like, darkness was on the face of the deep, you know, all this dramatic, you know, and God said, let there be light. And there was light, and it was good, you know? And that was like the first creation, right?
Yeah.
So in Islamic world, they say Allah was a hidden treasure and desired to be known. I desire to be known. I desire to be loved, and I desire to love. So in the Sufi world, they say that let there be light. The first light was Nur Muhammad. Nur Muhammad was the first act of magic, the first creation, the first lover of God. God, what? Why do we love? We want to be known. I'm a hidden treasure. I want to share my treasure. What's the point of having a treasure you can't share with nobody? How can a treasure have value if it's not shared? As you said earlier, circulated, not spent. You're not going to spend your treasure, deplete it. You're going to circulate it. So that's divine circulation. La ilaha illallah, let there be light. Muhammad Rasulullah. Tantra. Divine intercourse. Sacred union between the lover and the beloved, the soul and its Lord. If y'all read Rumi's poetry is very steamy. It's very like, ooh, my beloved and whatnot, because it's coming from that point, right? So Nur Muhammad, the first light, was created, and Nur Muhammad said, La ilaha illallah. Only God can know God. And then God said back to Nur Muhammad, Muhammad Rasulullah. You are my crown. You are my messenger. You know? So it's lightning and thunder, primordial forces of creation. And I got another Oyi story here. So Muhammad, Prophet Muhammad, the physical Prophet Muhammad. Okay. In the Tybro world, there was the solar rejuvenation community back in the day, right? And that's what really like turned me out to Dr. Gibbs. And I was like, yo, you got people over here making the sun do things. You got people turning the light and stuff. Like, yo, who are these people? You know what I mean? And so there have been people that had made the sun blink, right? I've never shared with you what I'm about to share with you. I've shared part of it with you, but this only recently came to me during this feast. Yeah, I'm not fasting for Ramadan, I'm feasting for Ramadan. So, Oyi son was out. I think he was doing the Usnisa Vijaya prayer. And all of a sudden the sun went. He was like, did y'all see that? You weren't trying to make the sun blink. You're just minding your business.
Minding my business.
Right? And you're like, did y'all see that? And it was just, and you started crying, man. Tears of gratitude. I remember that. And you started saying this prayer, and thanks. And then after that, now you weren't the first person to document a sun blinking, were you?
No.
But you were the first person to have the right response.
Mm.
And then you became the first divine conscious soul. Yeah, man.
Just in case y'all say, well, he must be joking. There's no way that this man's son was just blinking and he was on a Facebook Live. Okay. I didn't even, somebody else downloaded this and sent this to me.
Mm-hmm.
But go ahead. You said I was the first one who had the proper response.
You had the proper response, so you were communicating back to it. With gratitude, with an offering, right? A prayer is an offering. So you were blinking back to it in your own way. So there's been a lot of messengers. There's been a lot of people that have been tasked to guide humanity from a dog state back into the God state. But Muhammad was the first one to blink back. La ilaha illallah, to the creator. So he represented that Nur Muhammad. But that Nur Muhammad is in all of us. So he opened the way. So that's the power of this time, is that this Ramadan time is when that first transmission, that first lightning bolt struck his heart. And he began, I saw this one brother was talking about Prophet Muhammad was the illest rapper ever. Because he got billions of people reciting his rhymes. 14 centuries. And it's poetry,
right.
It's high poetry. But there's a religious understanding of it, which is they say like, a child sees his mother in a certain light, right? The husband sees the mother in a whole other light that the child can't comprehend because it's a child, So the Sufis, it's like the religious, and I don't mean to denigrate people in a religious understanding, because that's where they are. But to them, God is like a mother. To the Sufi, God is like a lover. And it's only God can know God. So the Sufi practices, any serious spiritual practice is to, just like the video I showed you, to do exactly that. To make you transparent to your divinity.
Not vulnerable. Not vulnerable.
Yes.
Transparent to your divinity.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
Wow. So as soon as you get the date, whether it's gonna be on the 5th or let me know. And yeah, I would.
It's gonna be the fifth.
Oh, hey, I'm gonna let the folks know.
I got so much on it. Like I said, man, I could talk on this every month for like next 5 years and not repeat myself and have good stuff to share.
Does anybody have some comments, questions, and feedback for brother Ashki before I let him go? He's giving us some of his time today, and or the comments. It don't have to be a question. If you pull something out of the message. Oh, well, I want you to go ahead and share that other piece too before the Q&A, before the hands start raising, about what the brother told you today about joy.
Yeah, man. This was a student of Bawa Muhyiddin. If you Google Bawa, M-U-H-A, it'll come up. It's one of them long syllable words, but you'll see one of the most beautiful souls you could ever possibly see.
What's his name? Baba what?
Bawa, let's see. Let me see.
Oh, Bawa.
Bawa. Let me, you know what? There it is. Okay. I got my correct chat here. Oh, you found it? Okay, cool.
But if you're gonna put something in the chat, then we can pop it off.
I'm just going by memory. I might have a letter or two off.
Is this here right?
That's him. Yeah, that's him. So Bawa was found in the jungles of Ceylon in Sri Lanka, I think in the 1930s. And he was an old man then. And he was just in the jungle, just all lit up. You know what I mean? Nobody knows when he was born, where he came from. And a group of seekers formed around him. And an ashram founder, just spontaneously, as I said earlier, I got to give the context to which this statement was made. You know what I mean? So his ashram was equal parts Hindus and equal part Muslim. You can't get Hindus and Muslims to agree on nothing, But Bawa, he wasn't he was just taught, he just popped out of heaven. He didn't really teach from the Quran, he didn't really teach from the Vedas, he didn't really teach from the Puranas or the Bhagavad Gita. He just spoke from the heart. And he spoke like this. I told my beloved over there yesterday, I said, Bawa was kind of like a real life Baby Yoda. And you got the Baby Yoda shirt on, right? He would talk, he'd be like, huh? You know what I mean? He was just like an adorable human being, right? Adorable. Like, if you look at Bawa and don't fall in love, something wrong with you. I mean, really. You may not be a living soul. You might be one of these clones or something, Yeah. But yeah, man, this community formed around him, and then a group of Americans stumbled upon him and invited him to Philadelphia. And he eventually relocated to Philadelphia. And I think he was there from maybe the late 70s in 1986. And this man I was speaking with, I think, was one of his sponsors that brought him to Philadelphia. And he basically is the facilitator of the fellowship, the Baba Muhyiddin Fellowship now. He's been nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize. He's an international lawyer. Like, we were supposed to talk, and like people was on the phone with him trying to get resources, medical resources and supplies to Ukraine. I mean, this is like the level that this man is on, Like, Deepak Chopra is his homie. Deepak Chopra interviewed him actually recently. He didn't interview Deepak. Deepak interviewed him. And he was a child of Bow Wow. And so we were speaking about Lex Hickson and some things he wanted to do, that he wanted me to his help, or to help him with. And he said that joy.
Sleep like this, or did you put this book on the bed before you left for work?
It's all good. Go ahead.
Yeah, man. Paraphrasing, the pursuit of joy is vanity. You should pursue your duty and your purpose, and joy will spontaneously appear in your life. But we're not to pursue joy. The Sufi would say joy is to pursue us. Through, again, good thoughts, good words, good actions. Joy will pursue you.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
man.
Yeah, I want joy to follow me. I just dropped Oshki's Cash App on there. I need everybody to put a little something for the man's time coming through and speaking to your subconscious. It ain't like you don't need it.
Where you got my Cash App?
Oh, don't worry, they see it. They see it in the chat. And I'm gonna post it a couple more times. You know what I'm saying? Your phone should be hitting here in a second. You know what I mean? Don't worry about how I got it. You know what I'm saying? You said you was feasting. You came over here and shared with from your teacher's cup. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
I'm gonna be there because I really wanted to know, they really should get that replay of what you dropped on. Or no, we're just gonna do another one, man. I just want to do another one. I know you said you wasn't like enthusiastic, but after we get this Night of Power out the way, then I really would like to go back and do one, you know what I'm saying, for the people that follow me. I got 4,000 emails. So even only 50 of them show up, you know what I'm saying, that'll be 50 people out of those 4,000 that need to hear that. Plus, we ain't gonna have no technical difficulties this time because I'm gonna be running it. You know what I'm saying? Also, the Night of Power is, as I was, as Brother Firewater shared with me, he was like, if you don't get nothing right, get that one right, because that day, the 27th, the veil is the thinnest, right? So a lot of people, this is why in this class, I can't do anything about the criminal, but I can educate the mark. So the con man's gonna always be here and telling you very general things, where I'm trying to give you very specific things and educate you so you'll know when to say the right word out of your mouth that everybody else is misusing. So if somebody says, oh, I'm going to speak it into existence, well, if the veil is this damn wide, we don't give a damn what you spoke, just because you feeling it. When you want to speak things into existence, you need to pick a time when it's more suitable for that thing to come to fruition for you, right? So we talk about having your candles lit. Do you have a prayer memorized? Do you have some water on your altar? Are you burning these, are you burning your offerings on a regular? Well, what about as the veil gets thinner on the anniversary date of this Quran coming down? Are you prepared? Not you, Ashki, but I'm talking about my students. I'm talking about, like, is anybody prepared for this, or are they gonna have Chris Rock slap Jada on the 26th? So y'all won't be paying attention now, because if Jada slapped Chris Rock, or if Jada slapped Chris Rock's wife, or if Jada slapped Chris Rock's brother, Tony, because Tony said on site with Chris, these jokers out here is just like, oh my God, let me see. But what did Kyrie Irving say today when he was talking about the fast? He was just like, man, I ain't alone in this. I ain't alone in this. I got millions of my brothers and sisters down with me. which started out as a small community. It didn't come down, the Quran didn't come down, hit Muhammad, and all of a sudden be the second largest religion on the planet. It didn't go like that. You know what I'm saying? It was a whole bunch of folks talking about nigga, get out of here. I'm sure he had his share of jokers saying, nigga, get out of here. Even after his homeboys was like, nah, for real, son, for real. This is for real. It was still that same cat talking about, man, go on, get out of there with that. Don't let that be you, ladies and gentlemen. It wasn't no accident that y'all fell up in class tonight. That my brother, look, Ace Dub talking about, so are you saying we're doing mushrooms on 5/27? It's 4/27, and that's not what I said. However, I cannot confirm nor deny whether you want to do some mushrooms on the 27th. You know, everybody here is grown, and everybody here also knows the basic steps of mushroom safety. If you want to go on and dip your foot in a little bit, that would be a good day. I wouldn't mind going in on a little light 3-5 myself. What day of the week is that on the 27th? You know, I may try that.
Wednesday.
It's a what?
Wednesday.
So the night of power is going to be on the night that we have class. That's what y'all saying.
Yeah, man.
Do y'all see what's going on? Because is anybody really paying attention that I have a class? So they'll be like, oh yeah, we're having class on the night of power. Somebody be like, oh, you must think you a Muslim. We have class every Wednesday. It doesn't matter what I think I am anyway. That's another part of shirk, is if you ask somebody what they're doing for their Ramadan, it's none of your damn business. Like when Ashki volunteered that he's not fasting, that's on him. It ain't on me to ask him how.
I'm transparent. Right? It's like, I don't care what you think about it anyway. You know what I'm saying? I'm just transparent. I ain't fasting. And if 2 billion Muslims hate me for it, that ain't my problem. You know what I'm saying? I'm transparent.
Oh man. Ashki, when is your what's your sun sign?
Well, traditional, it's Sagittarius, but I'm November 30th, so I'm actually Ophiuchus. I claim them both.
Y'all hear that? He said he claiming both.
My rising is Gemini.
Oh, hold on. We just
My
gonna
given name is Thomas, you know, so I got the twin thing going on because Thomas means twin. So
I want everybody to hear what he just said. He said, I'm with Ophiuchus and I'm with Sagittarius. He was like, why do I need to pick and say this one is better than the other one? I'm with both of them.
And you know what? That's an important thing, as I was talking about Lex Hickson. Some people will come to Lex, you know, and he send them to the ashram. You know, some people would come to him, he send them to the mosque. You know, it's not this or that, it's this and that. We have to become comfortable with paradox and, you know, things that seemingly contradict each other. I heard a phrase, contradiction is balance. Yeah, man.
Contradiction is balance. I have to think on that one right there.
I'm not saying that it is. I'm just saying that that's a good, you know, because actually, you know, when people would ask Lex questions, you know, about, you know, seeming inconsistencies, let's say even within the Quran, he would say, again, only Allah knows. We have to become, maybe an even better way to say contradictions, balance is becoming comfortable with mystery. You know, you're not going to know everything. Everything isn't meant to be known.
Damn. Woo! Everything is not meant to be known. Good gracious. Pay attention, everybody. Pay attention, pay attention, pay attention, pay attention.
Because what is it that wants to know? What is it in you that wants to know? If only God can know God, then what is there to know? It's your human self that wants to know. Oh, I need to know that. I need to. Oh, I need to find it. And then, well, what are you going to do with it? Well, what you know now? What are you going to do with it?
Right. I'm sitting here. Shorty sitting beside me. My phone ring at 10:30 at night. I answer the phone and say, "I'll call you back. I'm busy." Shorty beside me talking about, "Who's that calling you?" What you gonna do with it? And what, you ain't gonna do nothing with it. If I told you who was calling me at 10:30, it's my phone. I just got you. You heard me tell them I'm busy. I call you back. Why you asking who calling my phone at 10:30? You ain't gonna do nothing with the information. That's the other thing that we are in now, is the other epidemic of mental masturbation. We just have so much mental masturbation going on. Like, but the mental clitoris is woe out, and the mental phallic symbol is erectile dysfunction like a mug, because you don't woe it out from all this masturbation. You know what I'm saying? It ain't sensitive no more. It's been desensitized. There we go. Over mental masturbation will lead to desensitized thinking. Now you be out here thinking Will Smith really slapped this dude and they really got beef and whatever. When it don't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So what if he slapped him or if he didn't? What you gonna do with the information? Are you fasting? Are you feasting? Are you serving? Are you suffering? Are you standing in your truth? Are you associating with the caliber of people that where you want to be? Or you out here talking about somebody else's, you know what I'm saying, looking at all these other stars all the time. You're always getting caught up in these other people that you don't know. But the only thing you know is Chris Rock said, we just made history tonight on the largest stage ever. In Hollyweird, not Hollywood. So here at the Inner Magic Academy, we don't do weird things here. We do the woo-woo things. We do Jedi training. So when you get somewhere, your practices can pay off for you. That's what I'm hoping. You know, I was sitting there thinking about my birthday trip, and I was just like, man, this is one of the most spiritual places I ever been. I ain't never been this far away from home. I hope my practices don't let me down. Will my practices show? Will my practices show when I show up? Well, they're only going to show up to the extent that I've been practicing them. So I can't try to get nervous now. That's why I say when people be trying to do emergency magic, oh Lord, my rent is due. My rent is due. I need to do this ritual to get my rent. You ain't been doing nothing the whole time. You might as well just go on back to church, man. You might as well go on back to church and get down with the Jesus piece and be like, oh, well, I can just live my whole life like a crazy sinner. And then on the last day, I can just be like, forget it all, Maya. Don't worry about it. My heart is light. Even though I was robbing and stealing from everybody. It don't work like that. You know, that's pretty much the gist of what this class is about, is trying to deprogram folks from, you know, the blue Kool-Aid we've been drinking, you know, all the Kool-Aids we've been drinking, and drink some good water, some mama agua, as Chief Nighthawk calls her. If y'all ain't got no Q&A, y'all ain't got nothing for the brother, I'm gonna go ahead and let you go, King. I appreciate it. You can still stay now. I'm gonna just go ahead and just jump back into class and give them 20, 30 minutes and see what they're talking about. And then we're gonna see what's popping. I appreciate you, Lord.
I appreciate you. I think it was Rashid possibly asked where they could purchase the replay of the Matrix talk.
Oh, that's an excellent question. That's an excellent question.
I'm trying to think if that one's even the last one I did is available for replay, but that wasn't the Matrix talk. That was Yeah, the Matrix talk is in the ethers. it's, it's not available for replay. But the last talk I
That's
did.
why I say we gotta do another one, man, because that thing was fire. You know, that thing was so fire.
Really?
What?
Y'all mean the Trinio and Trinio.
Oh, no, I'm
Trinity
doing,
and Neo again.
man, I don't think 3 people came from my class. And the whole time I was like, well, it's too late for me now because you was already on the roll. Because you was in there teaching, trying to DJ, do technical,
Right.
overcome technical obstacles and all that.
Right.
I was just like, man, I would have made this so much smoother, but it's okay. And used to me telling nobody because they had to catch it from the beginning to catch the whole piece that you was put together. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, if the people want it, I'll give it to them.
oh nah, it's trust me, we're gonna make that happen. Rich said what book do you recommend by Lex Hickson to see the relationship between all ways of life and belief systems?
His first book was called Coming Home, and that kind of gives kind of a overview of many different belief systems. I would say it's kind of like a good introductory book. It's like a 101 book. Mm-hmm. I would, my personal favorites, Lex said there's 3 direct paths to the divine: Sufi, Tantra, Zen. His penultimate Sufi book is Adam from the Sun of Knowledge.
Adam from the Sun of Knowledge.
Yeah, man. That's the book that turned me out, you know. And he wrote it in Ramadan. And I just actually discovered that he wrote half of it in Spanish, a language that he didn't speak.
Oh, Atom, A-T-O-M.
Atom from the Sun of Knowledge. Yep. Like an atom bomb, you know? So on the Islamic side, Adam from the Sun of Knowledge. On the Zen side, the last book he put out, Living Buddha Zen. He was a Zen Roshi. And actually it's interesting because that book talks about what happens when a master transmits his power to a student.
What's the second book? What's that one called?
Living Buddha Zen. And the first master is 80. I want to say it's 82 masters that he profiles, but the first master is Shakyamuni Booty. Booty Sooty. Vajaya. The first master he profiles is Shakyamuni Buddha, who is the font of the rainbow body of light teachings.
Ooh.
So Lex was in that tradition as well. On the tantric side, Vedantic side, Great Swan. We talked about Ramakrishna earlier. If you get into all 3 books, you'll see that he's saying the same thing, one in Islamic language, one in Hindu, Vedantic language, one in Zen language, but he's saying the same thing. So yeah.
Living Buddha Zen and Atom from the Sun of Knowledge.
Mm-hmm. And the third one is Great Swan. Everybody's advanced on this in this class. So, you know, I would, whatever one is, you know, or I bought them all. I bought all those books, you know, in one fell swoop, you know, and just went through them. You know, he also has a beautiful book called Mother of the Universe, which is Tantric Hymns to Goddess Kali. There it is, the 3rd book down there. Yep.
Which one?
Mother of the Universe. There you go. That's another favorite of mine. Hymns to the Black Goddess. So all you Black goddesses out there, don't let it go to your head. but it's the worship of the Black goddess. And Lex goes to length to explain that, yes, she is a Black goddess.
Don't y'all worry about this one for $4. I already got it for y'all. There's some other ones out here that y'all could get too for $5, but I'm gonna go ahead and get this one off y'all's hand right now. There's some other ones.
And the introduction he gives to it, amazing. I actually studied with, he founded an organization called SRV, Sarada Ramakrishna Vivekananda. And I studied for a summer. That's how I got down to Kona, Hawaii with his homie, Bob Kindler. And I had some amazing experiences down there in Kona and in Portland and San Francisco, learning about Vedanta. It's some heavy stuff, man. Getting up at 3 a.m. to meditate for an hour, cross-legged, you know what I mean? Just, all that good stuff, man, So, yeah, man. So those are the books I recommend.
Yeah. This is good. Y'all just getting a real little sample right here tonight. He was real easy on you. Y'all didn't want to ask no questions, so guess what? I'm gonna let him just ease on off. I ain't gonna stay on here too much longer. King, I love you. Salute
love y'all.
Ancestors. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna build in a minute.
Gotta do my fella.
Big breaths. All right. Peace. All right. May the 5th or May the 11th, I will send the notification out. I would advise you. But when we do that Matrix 4 again, that's gonna be crazy. All right. Any comments, questions for me tonight? Of course, everybody wants, please add the book to the class book list. I'm sure that you can just put those in the Discord, right? I think that's what I think that's the easiest thing to do. Earlier today on Instagram, I did a joint called Body Your Chart or Be Quiet. And I just want to just pass this on as a lesson to my students. Please. Who laughing? What happened? Octavia, you saw that?
I think that was what you wanted to tell the whole class. I think that was it. I think that was what you wanted everybody to remind you of for tonight, was the body your chart or be quiet.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you. So, I'm allergic to nuts, but that don't mean y'all should be. But I am allergic to foolishness, and you should be too. So for me, I go places and people say, I just be chilling and somebody be like, oh, he's into astrology. He's an astrologer. What do you think the next thing happens? Somebody who don't know me come running up talking about my sun is in Gemini, my moon is in Taurus, and my rising sign is Capricorn. And then they be looking at me in my face like I'm supposed to know who you are. I do. Use a dummy. Because if you'd have been studying, you let me know that you don't care about astrology enough to learn more than what anybody else could learn about you by just asking you something. And you really didn't give me no information because now you want me to work to interpret it. Why don't you tell me what Gemini rising means? Why don't you give me an example of moon in Aquarius? Can you tell me what your Leo sun is any different than somebody else's Leo sun? What decan is it in? What degree is it? What house is it in? If you know your rising sign, you should have told me that your sun was in the such and such house. if I was said I'm a Virgo, I got Virgo in the first house and I got the sun in the ninth house, then you should be able to tell what my sign is. Then you should be able to tell me about how I spend money, because you know that if I'm a Virgo rising with the sun in the ninth, I'm a Taurus in the ninth, and then I got Libra ruling my second house. This is with no birth time. This is called hands-free astrology. You don't need a rectification course to know this. You don't need a rectification course to be doper than 90% of the astrologers already out here right now. But you must body your chart first, or be quiet. Because if you ain't bodied your chart and you loud, then you're going to attract somebody else who ain't bodied their chart and they're loud with foolishness. Ain't nothing worse than a loud fool. Nothing. It's okay. Like some of y'all will answer a question and I'll say, stop putting question marks behind your answer. Is it 3 or 4? 4? I ain't asking you to ask me back. Is it 4 or is it 3? 3? No, say 3, 4, whatever you're going to say, go on and say it. But I just want you all to be sick and tired, like I'm sick and tired of people just telling you their sun, moon, and rising. If you're not sick and tired of it yet, I'm telling you a little bit about your future as you move on down this road and start to make relationships with people in this group. Oh. I know what it was. I said in the breakout rooms, I was going to make everybody talk about their Jupiter. What was that? I said I was going to do a breakout room tonight and have everybody talk about their Jupiter. Wasn't it? Was that last week I said that? What was, I know it was in the rectification class. Where's Everett and Gabrielle? Who was in the rectification class and heard me talking about that? Did nobody in the rectification class is here tonight? What are we doing?
I didn't hear you say that in the rectification class.
I said I was going to do something about in the breakout rooms for everybody. I was going to do one thing in the breakout rooms.
I don't remember you mentioned the breakout room in the rectification class.
Do you remember me saying I want to talk about this one thing on Wednesday? I said we're not going to do a rectification class on Wednesday, but it's something I want to talk about that the whole class could benefit from.
I remember you saying you wanted to talk about something, but I don't remember nothing about no Jupiter and breakout classes.
Let's see, did I write some notes? Did I take any notes for myself to see what did we going on? What, did I write it down?
Is it about the number 1, 2, listening?
Now, I definitely could share that. Everybody needs to know that part about being an astrologer, even before you do rectification. The number one, your number one tool is the art of listening. Like your ears are going to take you further on this astrological journey than anything else. Like, how do you become, it's hard for somebody to hustle me because I already understand hustle. So hustle comes from awareness. Write this down. Hustle comes from awareness. Hustle comes from awareness. I went to jail. I got out of jail. I need some money. I'm staying with my grandma. Grandma's not giving me no more money because she says she's paying rent. I don't have nothing to contribute to the household. Grandma got a lawnmower outside. Grandma stay in a neighborhood where everybody got a big yard, front and back. I tell grandma to give me $5, let me get some gas for this lawnmower. Instead of cutting her grass, I go down the street and I charge $60 and cut 3 yards. I made $180 off of what? Awareness. Number one skill of a hustler is awareness. So now when if you're more aware than someone else, you'll be able to perceive when they're coming at you with something crazy. So if you know more astrology than the astrologers who are out here claiming they're astrologers, then I'm making you hustle proof. I'm making you con proof, excuse me. You won't be conned by these folks, right? So awareness when it comes to listening to someone, because Annie Ortley says, if it's in your heart, it's in your chart. And you will normally speak it if you can be quiet long enough to listen. So sometimes when I do get in a room or a group or something like that, and I hear somebody talking about their, it's so many things that you could just listen to and hear somebody's chart coming out of their mouth. You could just ask them like a simple question, like, I don't know, you have to be in the moment, in the now. It's hard for me to teach something of being in the now when we ain't right there at that point. But if you're paying attention, I use my nephew for an example. I know that my nephew had a gash on his head when he was about 10 from a fight he got in at school. Well, I know he's under the age of 12. When we do rectification class, or if I'm rectifying a chart, I'm gonna say, what's the earliest injury before the age of 12 that left a scar on your body? So I'm looking at my nephew, and then I'm listening to other things he got going on with his body. My awareness was able for me to rectify his chart without me even going to ask my sister, what time was he born? Because I am aware of what is in front of me in the moment. And that's what astrology, human design, gene keys is for, to raise your awareness of what is going on in the now. I think me and Oshki was talking about this earlier about how courageous you need to be to stay in the now. But what's it gonna be like when I finish this class? What's it gonna be like when I body my chart? What's it gonna be like when I can do rectifications? What is it gonna be like when I'm on stage doing blah, blah, blah? What is it gonna be like when I get $1 million? What is it gonna, that's your mind playing tricks on you. Tell your mind to shut up. Your mind don't want you to stay in the now. That's really another reason for fasting, is to get the mind to know you ain't in charge no more. Come on over here and sit down for a second. Let me put some discipline on your butt. So it's not too late for you all if you would like to practice your fasting, but also don't forget your generosity. Don't forget your generosity right now around the people around you. And also that Ramadan is happening in what? The seeing phase of the year. So seeing with new eyes, you see all these people fasting, taking the physical down, which is mean the spirit is automatically going to go up. And now you got new eyesight. I think Rashid, we was talking the other day, and he was talking about, I just seen this, and I see this all the time. You know, what do I make of it? And I was just like, the seeing phase is when you see the same thing all the time, but you finally see the same thing that you see all the time differently. When you see something that you see all the time differently, now you really see versus what you thought it was before. Yes, hustle comes from awareness. All right. No comments or questions tonight? This is, Rich said he'll come through with the woo. Yes, sir.
Yo, so we missed each other earlier this week, but I had a question for you. So I think I got a download about a hidden enemy in my 12th house. It's actually a brother, and the way that I kind of connected the dots on this, at first I don't know his birth time or anything like that. I know his birth date, so I just loaded up a ephemeris, and I found out where Mars was during his birth year, and it was squaring my Mars at the exact degree. Um, I just wanted really just some clarification. Like, man, that's probably a good way to see that.
Okay, so I heard the Mars square, but what's the 12th house got to do with it?
Because his Mars is in Pisces, my Mars is in Cancer, in the third house. It's an
His
it's a
Mars,
it's a
his Mars is in Pisces, yours is in Cancer.
yeah.
That's a trine.
I
That's not
mean,
a square.
no. I'm sorry. His Mars is in. Hold on, let me pull it up. My bad.
Can you turn your camera on? Your classmates out here is wanting to see. You know what I'm saying? They want to see what's popping out here.
Man.
He might have on. He might be getting a
Keep up.
facial or something, y'all. He could have been getting a facial.
All right, hang on. Let me pull this up.
You want to share it on your screen, or you want me to pull the chart up?
I got it in my notes, but you can pull it up if you want to. Let's see. September 10th.
What's the birthday? His birthday.
March 2nd. Let me find the date. Hang on. The year is.
As you looking for the year, what was it that
I
either
found March 7, 1979.
what was it that made you even want to like look his chart up in the first place?
Just experience, just over the years, just some subtle things that I picked up on intuitively. You know,
Mhm.
it's real subtle. Kind of like 12th house hidden enemies. It wasn't anything super overt.
Okay. So he got Mars in Pisces at 2 degrees. So now we drop yours in, your birthday. When's your birthday?
So it is a time, man. Uh, 6/18/85.
Time,
1:45
AM or PM?
a.m.
City and state.
Indianapolis.
No, I like to graph. I like to cut it up, cut it up, cut it up, cut it up, cut it up. So that's his Mars. That's your Mars. That's a trine. Where's the squares? I can't hear you, Rich.
I said my bad. Let me see if I can pull my note up. But give me a second to look at that.
I'm gonna just go look at it while you looking at it. How we using 1:45 a.m.? Rich, I know I didn't rectify your chart to 1:45 a.m.
Yeah, you gave me like five something. I tried to rock with that for like 6 months. It didn't really. After looking at it, going through some life experience, seeing some stuff, I was like, I think this 145 is right.
So you had a problem with your testicles and your sexual organs growing up before the age of 12.
Nah, not that I can recall. No.
So you're not an Aries rising.
Mm, I don't know. I mean, just the reason. So I tried to rock with it for 6 months, but I kept looking at stuff. I timed events, even like down to the an event I had most recently with my father, transitioning, and looking at an aspect that I had in my chart with Moon in conjunct Saturn. You know, and even verifying that with my mom, like, all right, it's an in conjunction, so this is like a psychological disconnect. So having some conversation with her, it's kind of like, all right, that kind of makes sense. She kind of verified that, yeah, it's like a psychological disconnect. It's not like a big rift that we have with each other, whatever. Um, and then just getting his chart, comparing his chart to my chart when he actually transitioned. So seeing that he represented Saturn in my chart versus the Sun, that was something I had a bunch of questions about and could never really get to the bottom of it. But when I saw that Saturn in Scorpio in my seventh house, and I looked at some other things that happened in life, I was like, I think this is where this is adding up. Um, my Saturn in Scorpio is at the 22nd degree. Some other stuff was lining up with that. So, just events, just verifying different events in my
You're,
life.
you're using events after the age of 12. You're not using what you started with. That's why I said you're not an Aries rising, because if you would have, what was the injury that you took? So you said I told you 5 what in the morning?
Yeah, hang on a second. 5:37.
So what happened? So you had an injury to your lower leg before the age of 12?
To my lower what leg? You said?
That's what you had to have told me for me to come up with this time. For me to come up with 537, that means you told me that you had something going on below the knee and above the ankle when I asked you about rectifying the chart.
Yeah, burning the leg.
So it's not so you might not be a Cancer rising, but you have the scar. Something happened before the age of 12. If you go looking up, you're gonna get thrown off. But I ain't gonna tell you not to go looking, because keep experimenting. But I gave you this time from the information you gave me. You gave me information around where there was the early injury, and that's where I came to time. And then I know I went down and did your 4th house and did your 7th house. So
What exactly there? I don't know if we did that. Fourth house and seventh house. What?
yeah, 7th house is relationships and 4th house is how you
Right.
grew up.
Right. Okay.
Right.
I
So
don't know if we went that deep in our rectification though. I know we talked about earliest injury before the age of 12. I don't know if we talked about how I grew up in relationships. We did talk about seventh house a little bit, and I was like, I don't know, but I don't think we talked about the fourth house, which would be Cancer rising. Let's try Libra, fourth house.
right. No. Yeah. If Libra's on the 4th, but if you told me that, I start with the injury. So you said the injury was to the leg. So I can only, when somebody's rectifying your chart, we only can go off the information that you give us. So, but if you want to go revisit it later, then that's cool. But if you say that you wasn't feeling Cancer, but you gave me this, I don't this Gemini in the 12th house, did you go through all the 12 houses? Because really, if you the Gemini in the 12th house would be the first thing that would disprove it.
Yeah, I mean, I went through that with Gemini, with the sun and the moon in the 12th house. I mean,
No, not the sun and the moon, not the sun and the moon,
Gemini in the 12th house.
just
Yeah,
Gemini ruling the 12th house, not the
right.
planets.
Okay,
Yeah. You don't need the planets when you rectifying charts.
right.
So not the technique that I use. So my technique, you might be experimenting with another technique. But if you said the burn on the leg, and that's all the information I had to go. But if you only said the burn on the leg and then you wasn't sure, I know I went through and dug more because I'm prolific like that. I asked you how many children do you have? You said none. Do you have any, has anybody ever been pregnant? You said, would you say yes or no?
I said possibly.
Okay, but you still don't have no kids.
No, no, right now, no.
Okay. And you don't think anybody's been pregnant before.
No, I think it's possible. I don't have no, some stuff happened where she said, she had an accident.
Do you have a
She was
gun?
in.
Do you have a license to carry?
Yeah, we talked about that with Mars in the first house. Yeah.
Okay. You ever had a gun pointed at you or pointed a gun at somebody?
Circumstance has happened like that before.
Well, that's probably what I was asking.
Yeah, you asked that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah,
It was not to incriminate myself. Plead the fifth.
right. Right. But I don't you would have to go back and just this piece with this person right here. You got to rephrase the question because even as I look at the chart, I don't. You said something about hidden enemies, and so now I'm pulling the chart up. Is the question still the same?
Yeah, it's kind of the same. I was just looking at maybe I wasn't looking at it at my son. Maybe I was looking at as Mars to my son. Because my son would be in the third house in Gemini,
His Mars,
which would be,
his Mars.
that's too wide. But that's probably too wide to be. That would be like.
It's still a square. It's not too. What you mean? It's one's in Pisces.
It's about 60 degrees.
All Pisces squares, all Cancer. All Pisces squares, all no. My bad. All Pisces squares, all Gemini. Yes, that's the square. So
Yeah.
his sun does square his Mars and Sun and North Node and Mercury squares all of that.
Right.
All of this squares all of this.
Right. Yeah, that's what I was looking at.
Yeah. So you have to break all of this, but this is called a light square. His Mars to your moon, his Mars to your sun, it's a light square because he's in the first, his Mars in the first decan, your moon and sun is in the third decan.
Right.
But it's still a square. It's just not as heavy as his Mercury to your sun. His Mercury to your sun is a much stronger square.
Yeah, 2 degree or yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And then you got to look at, what is the nature of what you was looking for. But yeah.
Okay.
All right. I hope that was helpful. I don't know if I was helpful right there.
Yeah, that makes sense what you're saying. The chart rectification thing, I don't know. I gotta, like I said, I gotta keep looking at that, but I just, it's not resonating still. It's been like, I think we did that it's probably been about 6 months, 8 months, but I don't know. Everything in this chart, in the 1:45 a.m., like that came from the hospital. I verified my mom, my grandparents. even down to, you know, moon in the third house, my mom being my neighbor. You know what I'm saying? Like,
As I said before, the time on the birth certificate is vaginal entry into the world. Just like when you study human design, you have the
and then
numbers on the right and you have the numbers on the left. The red is the design. The numbers on the right is the personality, which normally people get caught up in. That's the not self. I'm not calculating vaginal entry into the world. We calculate time of soul entering the body. So in this particular technique is super, super, super accurate and tested over ever since I've started learning it, which was in 2012. So I got 10 years with this particular thing. Not saying that I ain't never been wrong, but through the information that I got and the questions and the technique, if you say you were 115, 145 is disqualified because you would have to have some injuries. You had to have some Scorpio injuries. And you said you ain't have no Scorpio injuries. So you can't be an Aries rising. That's me. And then that means that puts Mars in your fourth house. So that's childhood violence growing up. Was there childhood violence growing up?
no, I put Mars in my third house.
Not if you were Aries rising. And
Yeah,
if I put
Mars.
it,
Well, I'm using a different. I'm using Placidus instead of equal.
what class are you in? I don't teach Placidus. I teach equal house, putting 0 at the ascendant. So if you at the third, do you write about guns and murder? Have you written about poems, very, very violent poems or very violent writings, or do you get into heated arguments?
Yeah. Yeah.
But you could also look at Libra for heated arguments. You don't
With
have
the
anything.
537 chart, Libra would be fourth house, but ain't no planets there.
Right, but
Yeah.
Libra is arguments too. Well, it's defending, you know what I'm saying? Mars in the third could be arguments, but you could have something squaring Libra. So because there's no planets there, you could have Saturn in you could have Saturn opposing Libra, you could have Saturn squaring Libra, or there'd be a T square. There's a whole lot of other options beside just one particular planet. But yeah, but I see what happened. You're using Placidus and using the birth time. So that's the best answer I got for you.
Gotcha.
All right, appreciate you. All right. Do. Anybody else? One time. Oh, that's great. Okay, we out of here. This has been lovely. Oh,
Before we go, I want to make an announcement or just put this out there. Anybody that want to get on my text message list, text hashtag #InnerMagic to 206-207-9998.
206.
207-9998, hashtag #InnerMagic. Yeah, I'll just be shooting some things to your text message, especially if you're doing business. I'm not big on emails, so I'll be shooting some stuff to your text message. Dealing with some business principles, some HD principles, gene keys and things like that. So yeah, if you want to get added to the phone book, text #InnerMagic to 206-207-9998. It'll shoot you a form, fill out that form, shoot it back, and you'll be on the list.
Woo. Y'all getting beta tested. Look, I'm over here on my phone now. I'm finna text so I can get on the list too. I don't know what y'all talking about. All right, that's it.
Yeah.
You know what I know. If you've been hanging around, you might want to get to texting. Oh, excuse me.
Oh, it's going off right now.
Juggles is like,
It's gonna be light. I mean, I'm gonna ask, a few questions, see what y'all wanna, like where y'all wanna start at, what type of information y'all wanna use. I will say, like, I already have like a 21 email sequence. It's just all about the different stages of business, right? Engagement, ideation, engagement, conversions, sales, branding, different things, messaging, all of that, right? So, but I want to break it down into bite-sized chunks, right? Like I don't want to send a bunch of long emails.
I'm already in. I forgot I already filled this out the other day. I'm in the owner's booth. I forgot I already filled this out. I'd be so excited when I see technology popping off like this. Yes, I did hear the phone in the background. Some jokers was moving, was like, all right.
That's what's up.
Also, Bill Wan is gonna be in Atlanta for a couple of weeks. I know he like to just ease on in, but for those of you who in Atlanta, you know what I'm saying? Some of you single women who ain't got no man to cook for, bring no food to on Sunday and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you stay in touch so you can put some of that Southern hospitality on the brother. You know what I'm saying? Get to see him face to face, stuff like that. He'll be walking Ashanti too, so you can bring your dog and y'all can, I don't know about, I'm just going too far now. That's exaggerating. But yeah, we're gonna see y'all in a minute. Well, if all hearts and minds,
yeah, if I'm there, like it would be good for you to link, because I'm, it's a rare session. Like yeah.
these are
Keep
the
it light. I move light, like a ghost.
Yeah. Ghost Dini. All right. If all hearts and minds is clear, nice big inhale through the nose. Slow exhale out the mouth. Anabakoa Gijalakimenka, Tatia Tezara, Kabel Renata, Chasak Vanu, Taharanunara, Nagi Board, Shea Yikadeka, Kabava Shaman, Barkum Taran Rankame, Tazika Taker to meet Gamlin, Kasim Kadosh, Baru Tufka, Nahel Adateka, Kakid Gahel, Chapanez, or Craig Katushka Taker, Shavata Kabel, Lushma, Tazaka Tanu, Yadea Talamo, Baruk Shem, Kavomakuto, Alam Vae. On three, one time for the one time. We're going out on peace. Sam, 1, 2, 3.
Peace.
Peace. Blessing, love y'all. Gratitude.
Peace.
Gratitude.